We are talking about all types of factoring, and in this case, we are looking at factoring trinomials in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So the first step, whenever we're factoring, we want to look for common factors that will make your life easier. So if you look at 17 here, we have negative 9x squared, we have a positive 32, and a 16. So in this case, we don't have anything that we'll be able to factor out necessarily. The next thing we want to look at is we always want to have our lead coefficient to be a positive. So in this case, our lead coefficient is negative 1. So we want to factor out a negative 1 from this first equation. And so we're going to take a negative 1 out of all of the terms here. So what we're going to end up with is we'll have a negative out front because that's negative 1. Then it's 9x squared minus 32x minus 16. So basically all we did there was we just took and changed all the signs, but we have to remember we leave the negative out front. One way that we can do this is we can guess and check. We can guess and check numbers that multiply to this, and add to this, but there's just such a high number of options because we could have 3x, 3x times 3x, 9x times 1x. Back here we could have 2 times 8, 4 times 4, 1 times 16. So we just have a great number of options that we could get that would work to multiply this together. So if you're not sure how to do the guess and check for this one system that you could use is you could use the box and X method. And so basically the box and X method is you make a box and you make an X, and then you just have to fill it in, and filling the box in helps you recognize where things go. So the first term goes in the first box. So we have 9x squared. We write the whole thing down there. And the last term goes in the last box. So we have negative 16 there. And negative 32x goes in the bottom box, negative 32x. Now, or in the bottom of the x. Now, what goes in the top of the x are the numbers that you wrote over here on the left. So we're going to say, up here above, we're going to say 9x squared times negative 16. And that product is going to go in the top of the x. So 9x squared multiplied by negative 16 is negative 144x squared. Okay. So now we need to come up with two numbers. These two numbers, the numbers that go here and here, they have to multiply to get 144x squared, and then they have to add to get to negative 32x. So what we can do is we can start dividing negative 144 by 2. So if we say 144 divided by 2, that is going to be equal to 72. 2 plus 72, does that get us close to negative 32? No, it does not. So we could see, does 144 divide by 3? So it goes 12, 24. So that's 4. And then that's 24 is 3. Does 3 and 48 add to negative 32? No, it does not. So we go 144 divided by 4. That becomes 3 and 6. Does 36 and 4 become 32? Well, it could if we had negative 36 and positive 4. So let's try that. Negative 36x and positive 4x. So negative or 4x minus 36x is negative 32x, and 4x multiplied by negative 36x is negative 144x squared. So these numbers right here, we then use to fill either box. It doesn't matter. 4x could go here or 4x could go here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one we put in either spot. You could have put the negative 36x here and the 4x here. It would still work out. So now we have an algebra tiles situation here where we have to have two numbers that multiply to make this box right here. And eventually this number is going to have to multiply to this one. So I'm going to try 9x and x. So 9x times x is 9x squared. So if this is 9x, 9x times what will give me negative 36x? Okay, so it's got to be negative, so I know it's got to be a negative sign. And I already have the x, so I don't have to worry about that. 9 times what equals 36? So that's 9 times 4. So that becomes negative 4. And x times what would give me 4x? So that is a positive 4. So 4 times x is 4x. And then the check at the end, if this number multiplied by this number equals the last number. So 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. So then these are the factored form. So then we'd have 9x plus 4 times x minus 4. And that is in factored form.